Hello and welcome, or welcome back. This week I'm doing another reading vlog. I'm picking up right after my last reading vlog. So if you watched that one, you know I'm reading The Bookshop and the Barbarian by Morgan Stang. And I'm enjoying the story so far. I only have, I guess, one complaint, and I'm trying to work through it. But there's I guess the author is very prevalent, as a narrator. So they have a lot of quippy things that they say. It's really hard to get immersed in the story whenever the narrator keeps interrupting the story for me. And I don't know why that is really, because I love plays. I mean, I have a theater degree, I love plays, and there are tons of plays with little quippy narrators as comic relief type thing, and I think that's the vibe that she's going for, but I don't know. It's weird. I'm trying to work through it, but I'm finding it to be a little strange. That's my only complaint, but so far I'm loving it. Also, the Barbarian is a woman. I just made the assumption that the Barbarian would be a man, and in the description it did say there was a little bit of romance, so I'm wondering if it's going to be a sapphic romance, or if one of them is going to meet someone else. I don't know. I'm excited. Right now they're just now getting to know each other, starting to get the bookshop going. So she's been running into issues, but Miss Barbarian is helping her out. She's getting through it. The bookshop is open, and there's this strange door. And so I'm at the point where they're about to go through the strange door where there's some whispers and whatever. And I had to pause because the author was no, frightening things happen, and if you don't want to be frightened, I'm gonna put a big header at where it begins and where it ends. And part of it is, it feels like she's trying to be comedic, it's supposed to be funny. I don't find it funny. I'm just let's get to the fucking story. I don't care. I don't need a disclaimer that it's gonna be frightening. But I'm assuming that when she's gonna make this big disclaimer, and then it's not really gonna be that bad. I don't know. That's just what I assume. And we will find out together. And I will get back with you when I've read a little bit more. See you later. Alligator. Probably isn't late to a lot of people, but it's late to me. I just finished The Bookshop and The Barbarian, and I really enjoyed it, other than the author jumping in and the fucking quizzes. If I could take all of that out, it would have been a 5-star read, but I think it's a 3-star for me with I don't know, the author's little funny parts just kept bringing me out of the book. It just kept reminding me that I was reading a book, and I don't like that. I want to be completely immersed in the world and just enjoy their story. But anyway, other than that, like the actual story was really cute, very fluffy. They fell in love, and there's like four romances that were talked about, and I just love that. And it wasn't like a really sexy, gritty romance. It was really sweet and very slow. I loved it. I thought it was so good. It was exactly what I needed. But now, I don't know what I'm gonna read. I'm just gonna wake up tomorrow and decide. I still have the If Cats Disappeared from the World, but I also have a book that was lended to me by one of my mom's co-workers. So I might go ahead and read that. I think it's called Here Lies a Vengeful Bitch, which just sounds funny. I don't know. It's got blood on the cover, so I think it's gonna be a horror book, but maybe like a horror comedy. I don't know, because I think the title's funny. That's the only reason I think it might be a comedy. I don't know anything else other than that. But I'll pick it back up with you when I read something else. But this is still day 1 of the reading vlog, and I'm going to bed. It is day 4 of this reading vlog. I haven't been reading for about 3 days. I think I finished the Bookshop and the Barbarian, and then the next day I did not read anything. And then the next day I didn't read anything. We went to go visit some of my boyfriend's family after he got off of work, after I got off of work. Saturday we ended up having a nice day out and about, and then I was working on a little bit of music, and I just didn't read anything. I didn't feel like it. And then Sunday we had friends over, so I ended up watching a lot of anime. I'm currently watching The Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime with my friend Diane, and we talked about Zodiac Academy. She's still working on it. She's been having a hard time at work, so she hasn't been doing a lot of reading, which is completely understandable. Since we aren't going to be reading anything new together, I'm finally going to start Here Lies a Vengeful Bitch. This book was loaned to me by one of my mom's co-workers that I met at a graduation party. So I gave her Carmela to try out, and she gave me this because she had it in her car already. She really liked it, so I'm excited to read it because we got into talking about fantasy romance and everything like that, and that's something she's really into. So this is not romance, this is like mystery. The blurb says, Anne Lane was murdered, but that won't slow her down. The mountain her body was dumped on is legendary for raising the dead. So after waking up in the same frigid water that hides her corpse, Anne surges into her backwoods hometown hell-bent on revenge. The problem is, Anne can't remember who killed her, and the list of people who might have wanted to isn't exactly short. There's her toxic mom who spends her rare sober moments ripping Anne a new one. There's her boss at the diner who's always been a little too friendly. And there's her cheating ex and his creepy bandmates, who are just shit-brained enough to think they could get away with it. All she has to go on are tequila-fogged memories and a blood-stained leather jacket, but Anne won't stop until she gets what she came for. Someone knows the truth. Someone is to blame. Someone has to pay for what happened to Anne Lane. Furious, fast-paced, and darkly funny, Here Lies a Vengeful Bitch is at once a propulsive mystery and an exhilarating love letter to anyone who has ever been told to be a good girl or else. Like I said in my last reading vlog, anytime I'm reading a book and there's a female character that has been wronged in some way, I'm instantly hooked. So, yes, I want to find out who killed her. Sounds like we got a lot of female rage in this one, and I'm very excited. So I'm going to go ahead and start this today, and I will catch up with you when I've read a little bit of it. Okay, I've only read the dedication so far, but I had to come back to you because the dedication says, if you're so pissed off it feels like the next man who mistakes you for a good time is going to find out you're actually his worst nightmare, this book is for you. So there is a list of trigger warnings, just so you're aware. Beyond like the obvious, violence and murder, there's a few more. But you know, it's typical feminine rage issues. So if you're into feminine rage books anyway, I don't think any of these are going to be a problem for you. You've read them before. I wrap my arms around my stomach, pick a direction at random, and start walking. Hello, it's the same day. Well, it's like nighttime. I'm about to go to bed, whatever. I've been reading for a little bit. I'm pausing on page 81, chapter 9, and I am engrossed in the story, but mostly because I'm angry. I'm angry for the character and also a little bit at the character. Like, she seems a little oblivious to her situation at this point, which it hasn't been confirmed, so what I think is going on, I don't know is that's what's actually going on, but I have a very strong inclination that it is. And I mean, they put it all in the books, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure she's dead. And anyway, I mean, we read in the description that the mountain is known for being able to bring people back to life, but she doesn't believe it, I guess, so she's not thinking that she's dead, she's not behaving like she's dead, even almost getting sucked down the shower drain. She's like, oh no, I'm alive, I'm just tripping. Like, okay, fine. And then like when she goes back to the town, people can see her and like she's interacting with them, they're interacting with her, but they're all just kind of being dicks. Like, they're being so rude. Like, her high school officials, like the counselor and the principal, I just hope that she gets revenge on them. And her mom is terrible. Yeah, like, I'm enjoying it, and I say it like that because the parts that I'm not enjoying are like by design. Like, I'm not enjoying the sense of like frustration that I'm feeling, but I know that that's what I'm supposed to be feeling. So in that sense, the author's doing a really good job of making me share our main character's rage. And there is still a mystery, so I'm really excited to learn more about what's going on. What happened to her, like she doesn't have memories, like she was roofied or something, so she's missing some memories. Her best friend is missing completely, but has had contact with her little brother. I guess her little brother was the last person to see her, like I don't know, but like nobody's really working with her to be able to figure it out. Like, they're all just being like, oh, you did this terrible thing and blah blah blah, but then they wouldn't tell her what the terrible thing was for a little while, and then when she figures it out, she's like, I literally have no idea, and they're all just like, oh, you're lying, you're a bad kid, you're lying. And so she's having a hard time figuring out what happened to her, and that's frustrating me because I'm like, okay, I wanna know. I need to know what happened, like, and she's very different. She's very much just like, oh, well, fuck you, if you're not gonna believe me, I'm just gonna go do whatever. I would be fighting, like, I would be like, no, I'm not lying, like, are you an idiot? Like, I'm not lying, I literally don't remember. You haven't seen, like, the sheriff hasn't seen his own daughter since Saturday. Like, go find your daughter. Where is your daughter at? Where's my best friend at? Like, I don't know what happened. I woke up in the fucking river. Like, she didn't even say that. And everyone's like, oh, what happened? Where were you? And like, oh, you did this thing. And you made everybody upset. And she hasn't told anybody that she woke up in a fucking river. Like, coughing up pine needles. And I feel like that's kind of a big deal. Like, that would be the first thing out of my fucking mouth. If somebody asked me where I was and what I've been up to, I would be like, hey, yeah, I just woke up in the fucking woods on top of a mountain that nobody goes to. But if she just said that, I feel like the story would end too quickly, I guess. So I think the author holds our character's telling on purpose to propel the story a little bit. So we'll see if that's correct or not. But I am interested, I'm invested, I'm angry. And that's what I knew would happen. So it's going well. But I'm gonna go to bed. Sheesh. It's day 5 of this reading vlog. I have been doing a little bit of reading this morning. I did a little reading while I was sitting waiting for orders. So I'm on page 104 right now. I'm going to sit down and do a lot of reading today. I only have 200 pages left, and if I can finish this today, I just want the story, you know, like I'm eager for her to figure out the mysteries, for her to figure out what happened to her find her best friend, all of that. So I am dedicating some time today to sit down and just read, and we'll see how far I get. But before I do that, I had a birthday recently, and my friend Diane got me a gift card to the bookstore. Thank you, Diane. Thank you so much. I didn't realize how much money was on it, so a few weeks ago, I went to the store and I bought When Women Were Dragons by Kelly Barnhill. Isn't that beautiful? One of my mom's friends was telling me about this book a year ago and said that it was really good and that I had to read it, and I just hadn't taken the time to read it yet. I saw this and I decided to go ahead and pick it up because I think this is going to be one of those books that I'm going to want to write in. Annotate in, but I don't like saying annotating because I guess that's what it's technically called when you write in a book, is annotating it, but I don't think it's gonna be really like super intellectual annotating. I think it's just gonna be like, oh, I really liked this and this made sense to me and like I relate with that, or I think this was cool, whatever. So I think this is one of the books that I'm gonna want to write in, so I definitely wanted a physical copy of it. So this is one of the books I got, and then I went back to the bookstore today just because I was out and about, and I used my gift card and they told me how much I had left on it, and I was like, what? So I picked up 2 more books. I got this collection of poetry by Mary Oliver. It's the Blue Horses collection. And the reason I got this one was because she's talking about nature, and she's also talking about the wonder and the beauty in everyday life. In this stunning collection of new poems, Mary Oliver returns to the imagery that has defined her life's work, describing with wonder both the everyday and the unaffected beauty of nature. And that's something I'm working on myself, is trying to find beauty in the everyday, in the mundane, and also in nature. We're nearing the end of May. I'm doing a lot of gardening right now, so nature's on my mind. The cycles of nature is on my mind, and so I'm really excited. Poetry has been on my mind lately, and I thought it would be really cool to kind of dive into poetry starting with Mary Oliver. So I picked up Blue Horses. But the third book that I got with my gift card was Quicksilver, and I've been hearing a lot about this. One of my other friends read it and said that she really liked it. She read it on Kindle Unlimited, and my Kindle Unlimited subscription has ran out. So I am limited to my physical books. And so I saw this today, and honestly, I was thinking about buying The Familiar by Leah something. The Familiar by Leah Bardugo. I was thinking about getting that one, but honestly, it was the same price as this one, and this book is big. She's thick. I love a thick book, especially if it's fantasy. Yeah, 609 pages. Oh yeah. So I decided for like the amount of time that I'm gonna be spending in the world, I just decided to buy the bigger book. And I'm excited. I really like romantasy. I'm just assuming that this is romantasy. Ooh, it's enemies to lovers romantasy. So I picked up Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Right now I have so many books to read. Like honestly, I didn't need to buy any books, and yet I went and bought 3 because I had a gift card, mind you. I had a gift card. So this is my little book haul for today. I really wish I could read faster. That's part of the reason I want to like carve out time to read today and get through this one. 1, because I just want to know what happens, and 2, because I have so many other great books to get to. So I'm gonna do a little bit of that today. I wanted to film a little check-in. I'm on page 246. I'm pausing to cook dinner, but I'm definitely going to finish this tonight. I'm really enjoying it after a lot of misaccusations, like incorrect accusations. She's finally figured out what happened to her, who did it, where her best friend is, and I can't wait to see how she gets revenge. That's all I have to say. I've just finished Here Lies a Vengful Bitch by Cody Crowley, and I just want to say this is a really good picture of her. I love that picture. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. If I had to rate it, I would probably give it 4 stars. Only not 5 stars because I guess I found parts of it to be not cheesy. Cheesy is not the right word, but just predictable and like childish, but it's also like about a 17-year-old girl, so like it's very teenage angst, and I both liked that and also it annoyed me at times. But it's one of those stories that I think I would reread around Halloween or something if I was just looking for a good spooky vibe, but that wasn't really like emotional or an easy read, you know, like something that I could read relatively quickly, just like going back, like watching a movie or something. I feel like this is a perfect book for that, and it has all the spooky vibes without being horror necessarily, you know. So it kind of reminds me of like Jennifer's Body in a way. It has that kind of vibe. Like the first 100 pages I was kind of just angry because she didn't know what was going on, and I don't like it when I don't know what's going on, and I kind of obsess about figuring it out. So I just kept wanting to read though, and like I think that was a really good thing about it. Like I have mixed feelings about the book, I guess, because there were parts of it that made me angry, there were parts of it that I didn't agree with, but overall I think the story was really good. Like sometimes miscommunication that drives the plot irritates me because I feel like I would just be more direct, but not every character is going to be direct, and not every person either is going to be super direct, and I try to remember that in saying that she is a very direct character, but also she just puts up with too much bullshit. I thought, like, I just got really annoyed with all the things that she kind of let happen or didn't pay enough attention to, and that also annoyed me. I loved the second half of it. Her revenge was pretty good. It wasn't as, I guess, gory as I would have liked for it to be, honestly. And I feel like that's another thing, like this is definitely a book for younger kids or like teenagers. It's not a horror, even though I want it to be. I wanted her to horrifically murder her murderer, basically, and that didn't happen in the way that I wanted it to. I mean, it did happen, but it wasn't enough, man. It wasn't enough. And there were some things that I feel like were wrapped up way too quickly. They didn't go into any detail, and then there were like a bunch of characters that are like alive on this mountain, or like dead and alive, on this mountain with her, and you don't get any of their stories, and it drives me insane that we don't get any of that. That she didn't ask any questions. Like, it's definitely the main character is not a follow-up question girl. When I would have been like, what's your story? Why are you here? Like, what's going on? So yeah, I guess a 4 stars, because I think I would reread it. If I didn't think I would reread it, I would give it a 3 stars, but I think I would reread it. I keep trying to think of things to say, but I think I'm just out of them. I'm gonna go to bed for the night, and tomorrow I will be back, and I will be reading probably When Women Were Dragons. I think it's gonna be my next read, and I'm super excited about it. It is day 6, day 7 of this reading vlog, and I've started When Women Were Dragons by Kelly Barnahill. I'm currently about 50 pages in, I think 48 pages in, and this is the bookmark I decided to use. And I find it to be very fitting. So far, I'm really enjoying the gender roles conversation that it talks about, focusing specifically on women. I think the women turning into dragons is super interesting, and right now they're calling it spontaneous, but I wonder if it's just something that they have all had within them at this time. And yeah, I'm really interested to continue reading. It is written kind of like a scientific journal. I mean, there's like some parts that are written like they're scientific essays, and then the girl that you're following is also a scientist, so everything that she says is very direct and thorough, you could say. It's different to the book that I just read, which was Here Lies a Vengeful Bitch, where it was written very fast-paced. It's not nearly as fast-paced. Like, I'm on page 50, and the big event just happened, but there's still like not a lot of action, I guess you could say, in this book so far. So I'm interested to see if there's going to be more action, or if it's just going to be one of those where she's gathering information, and it's kind of more of like a scientific journal type thing. There was one quote from a letter in the beginning that I really liked, and she says, "It's not from any place of sorrow that I write these words. There is no room for sorrow in a heart full of fire." She goes on to say, "You will tell people that you did not raise me to be an angry woman, and that statement will be correct. I was never allowed to be angry, was I? My ability to discover and understand the power of my own raging was a thing denied to me until, at last, I learned to stop denying myself." I love that. There is power in your rage, and don't forget it.